In the salty air of Queens, New York, a skinny teenage boy named Bernie Madoff stared at the ocean, dreaming of a life he didn't have. He saw the shiny cars, the polished shoes, and the effortless respect of the wealthy. He whispered to himself, "One day, they'll know my name." Years later, he made that promise come true. In the 1960s, with just a few $100s saved from his lifeguard job, he opened Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities. While Wall Street was a scene of chaos and shouting, Bernie was calm, polite, and reassuring. "People don't want to gamble," he'd say. "They want safety. That's what I give them." And people didn't just believe him, they trusted him completely. By the 1980s, Bernie Madoff wasn't just a name, he was a symbol of unwavering success. But behind the polished offices was a place no client ever saw, Room 17. Inside, Frank DePascali, Bernie's loyal right-hand man, worked with old computers and piles of paper, creating the heart of the secret. "Morning, Frank," Bernie would say, looking over the fake trade reports showing millions in imaginary profits. "They'll love it," he'd add quietly. "Nice and steady, no surprises." Sometimes Frank would get nervous. "You sure about this, Bernie? It's been years. We could stop now." But Bernie would just look out at the bustling street below. "Stop. If we stop, everything falls apart. No one gets hurt as long as we keep it going. Everyone's happy." So it continued. Fake statements were mailed out, showing profits that didn't exist. Bernie's charm was his greatest asset. He'd even pretend to be exclusive, turning down huge investments at first, which only made people want to give him their money even more. By the year 2000, Bernie Madoff was on top of the world. He had homes in Manhattan, Palm Beach, and Montauk. He owned yachts and spent weekends with America's elite, who affectionately called him Uncle Bernie. He was seen as too good, too honest to ever doubt. At glamorous parties, his wife, Ruth, would whisper, "You did it, Bernie. You made the American dream come true." He wanted to believe it was all real, but he knew it wasn't. The machine of lies had grown too big to stop. If just one investor asked for too much money back, the entire illusion would collapse. Tomorrow, he promised himself every night. Tomorrow I'll fix it. But tomorrow never came. Even his own sons, Mark and Andrew, who worked in the same building, were kept in the dark, proud of the father they thought they knew. They never saw the guilt behind his eyes. Then came 2008. The financial world was in a freefall, and Bernie's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Everyone wanted their money out, and they wanted it now. "Don't worry," he lied, "everything's under control." But it wasn't. He needed billions of dollars, money he never had. One night, sitting alone in his office, his hands shaking, he finally admitted defeat. Frank came in and asked, "How bad is it?" Bernie whispered, "It's over. They want $7 billion. I can't pay even one." He straightened his tie, the picture of composure on the outside, and said, "I'll tell my family tomorrow." The next morning, Bernie gathered his wife and sons. His voice was calm but heavy as he spoke the words that would shatter their world. "I've been running a Ponzi scheme for years. There's nothing left." The silence was deafening. "Dad, what are you talking about?" Mark asked, his eyes wide with disbelief. "I lied," Bernie said simply, "to everyone." That night, his sons called the authorities. The next morning, 2 FBI agents arrived at his door. "Mr. Madoff?" When asked, Bernie just nodded. "Yes, I know why you're here." He didn't resist as they put the handcuffs on. The king of Wall Street had fallen. The news exploded. Bernie Madoff arrested for $65 billion fraud. The world was stunned. Celebrities, charities, and ordinary retirees had lost everything. In court, when the judge asked how he pleaded, Bernie's voice was steady. "Guilty, Your Honor." The courtroom gasped. Sentenced to 150 years in prison. He didn't fight or cry. He just whispered, "I'm sorry." The cell door clanged shut, and for the first time in his life, Bernie Madoff was not in control. He was no longer a financial wizard. He was prisoner 617-7054. Lying on his metal bed, with no phones ringing and no numbers to fake, he was left with only silence and overwhelming guilt. He thought of his first clients, the families who trusted him with their life savings. He had wanted to protect them, but in trying to protect his own image, he had destroyed their lives. Years passed in prison. Bernie grew old and frail. His son, Mark, unable to live with the shame, took his own life. His other son, Andrew, died of cancer. His wife, Ruth, came to visit him once, separated by a glass wall. Her voice broke as she told him, "I lost everything. Bernie, the house, the friends, the boys." The news of Mark's death broke him. That night, alone in his cell, he whispered, "I did this. I killed my own son." Sometimes, younger inmates would ask him why he did it. It started small, he'd explain. One lie to cover a loss. Then another. Soon, the lies became bigger than the truth. You start to believe you're smarter than everyone until the truth catches up. Don't ever think you can cheat time. It always collects its debt. In the spring of 2021, Bernie Madoff died in his prison cell. His final thought was simple: it could have been real, if only I had stopped. Bernie Madoff didn't just steal money, he stole faith. And in the end, that's the one thing he couldn't buy back. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the figures who shaped our world. We'll see you next time.